Hello, friends. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite books from when I was first learning to be a teacher. It's called The Having of Wonderful Ideas by Eleanor Duckworth. It's an essay in the book as well as the title of the book. There are a few essays. And I love the title. I think it tells us a lot about our work in schools, or what I hope would be our work in schools, which is our job is to help kids have wonderful ideas, or to recognize their wonderful ideas and affirm those wonderful ideas and help them realize that they get to be active learners in their lives, and that their job is to actively construct their knowledge, actively construct their wisdom. We can't go in their brains and wire their brains like us. What we do is we give them interesting things to think about, and then this is what I love about this. We have this privilege and an opportunity and a responsibility as teachers to influence how young people make sense of the world, and to engage with them in how they're making sense of the world. And I just think it's the best part of teaching. One of my favorite times in the classroom is when my students have started to work on their independent work. We've had like the direct instruction part of the lesson, and then they're working in pairs or on their own. They're doing worksheets, they're building with blocks, they're measuring things, they're drawing, they're writing, they're doing that kind of active learning that we know they need to do to integrate whatever the lesson has been. And I just go out there and I'm asking all of these questions, not are you right or wrong? You may know this. 90% of the questions we ask in school are guess what the teacher's thinking question. We have an answer in our head and we're asking somebody in the class to repeat back, what does Mr. B think is the most important thing we learned today? So the same 5 kids would raise their hands. But if I say, hey, what are you thinking about right now? What's going on in that brain of yours, that beautiful, beautiful brain, unique and wonderful brain of yours? What are you thinking about? There's no right answer except what you're thinking, which is always the right answer. So at those times, I say to my students, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to come out into the room while you all are doing your work, and I'm just going to be totally curious about what's going on in those beautiful brains of yours. And I will sit with one kid and I'll say, favorite question, the universal question for doing this well. Tell me more about that, what you're doing there. I might say, where did you start? That's a cool place. Would you start there again? I never thought about that. How did you know that? I didn't teach you that. Where did you learn that in your life? What are you feeling really confident about in this? And where's it feeling a little soft and iffy in your thinking? And I have a whole list of questions, which if you write to me at my website, jeffreybenson.org, I can send you, which is those wonderful things in which we get to engage with students and say to them, you have wonderful ideas. And the goal of this mind of ours that has evolved over eons is it can come up with wonderful ideas so that the questions we ask aren't, guess what I'm thinking, but tell me more about what you're thinking. And then I can say to the students things like, oh, if you did that, what if you doubled that number? Try that out and come back and tell me what you discovered. Or see if you can get an adverbial clause in that sentence. What would that be like? Could you squeeze that in? Or go online and find a different map of South America and tell me which map you think would be best for your project. So we're getting them to have wonderful ideas. We're engaging with them and opening them up to being stimulated by our thinking versus just guessing what we're thinking is the right answer. As always, be in touch with me through my website, jeffreybenson.org, and hope to see you down the road, friends.